Early years and rise. Abraham Lincoln was born in a humble log cabin in Kentucky in 1809. His parents, Thomas and Nancy Lincoln, instilled in him a strong work ethic and a love for learning. Tragically, when Abraham was just 7 years old, his mother passed away, leaving him and his sister Sarah to be cared for by their father. In 1816, Thomas moved the family to Indiana in search of better land and opportunities. Life was difficult in the new frontier, but Abraham embraced the challenges, helping his father clear land, build a cabin, and farm the land. Despite the hardships, Lincoln's thirst for knowledge grew, and he spent every spare moment reading and educating himself. These early years in a rough and unforgiving environment shaped Lincoln's character and instilled in him a deep sense of empathy and determination. It was during this time that the seeds of leadership and greatness were planted in the young boy who would one day become one of America's most revered presidents. Abraham Lincoln was largely self-educated, with a passion for reading and learning that drove him to educate himself in various subjects. Growing up in a log cabin in Kentucky, Lincoln had limited formal education, but he made up for it by dedicating himself to reading books and constantly learning. Despite facing financial hardships and family tragedies, Lincoln never stopped pursuing knowledge and self-improvement. He worked as a farmhand, rail splitter, and store clerk, all while devoting his spare time to reading and studying. His determination to better himself through education played a crucial role in shaping his character and preparing him for the leadership roles he would later assume. Lincoln's self-learning journey equipped him with a deep understanding of law, politics, and history, which would ultimately serve him well in his career. His passion for reading and thirst for knowledge not only helped him overcome adversity but also laid the foundation for his remarkable leadership skills and his legacy as one of America's greatest presidents. Abraham Lincoln entered the political arena in his 20s, running for the Illinois General Assembly. His early speeches focused on issues of the day, such as infrastructure and economic development. Despite facing early setbacks and losing his first political race, Lincoln's passion and eloquence quickly gained him a following. He continued to fine-tune his oratory skills and political strategy, setting the stage for his later rise to prominence in American politics. Abraham Lincoln's early years in Springfield, Illinois were marked by his pursuit of a career in law. After studying law on his own, he passed the bar exam in 1836 and began practicing as a lawyer in Springfield. Lincoln quickly established himself as a successful attorney, known for his honesty and dedication to his clients. His time in Springfield saw Lincoln become involved in politics, serving as a member of the Illinois State Legislature and later as a member of the U.S. House of Representatives. In Springfield, Lincoln also met his future wife, Mary Todd, whom he married in 1842. Lincoln's legal career continued to flourish in Springfield, with him representing clients in various civil and criminal cases. His reputation as a skilled lawyer grew, earning him respect and admiration in the legal community. His years as a lawyer in Springfield laid the foundation for Lincoln's future political career, showcasing his leadership abilities and commitment to justice. It was during this time that Lincoln began to establish himself as a prominent figure in Illinois politics, setting the stage for his rise to the presidency. Abraham Lincoln married Mary Todd in 1842. The couple had 4 children together: Robert, Edward, William, and Thomas. Lincoln's family life provided him with love and support as he navigated his rise to political prominence. Despite the challenges he faced throughout his career, his family remained a constant source of strength and inspiration. Presidency and the Civil War. Abraham Lincoln's election in 1860 came at a critical time for the United States. The nation was deeply divided over the issue of slavery, with tensions escalating between the North and South. Lincoln, running as the Republican candidate, stood firm on his belief that slavery should not be allowed to expand into new territories. With his passionate speeches and moral clarity, Lincoln gained widespread support from the North, winning the presidency in a 4-way race. His victory sparked outrage in the South, leading to secession and the formation of the Confederate States of America. Despite the growing rift between the North and South, Lincoln remained committed to preserving the Union. As the Civil War loomed on the horizon, Lincoln faced the daunting task of leading a fractured nation through its darkest hour. His leadership during this tumultuous time would come to define his legacy as one of the greatest presidents in American history. As Abraham Lincoln assumed the presidency, he faced the daunting task of preserving the Union in the midst of growing tensions between the North and the South. The struggle to reconcile the differences between the two regions continued, leading to the secession of several Southern states and the outbreak of the Civil War at Fort Sumter in 1861. Lincoln's leadership was put to the test as he made key decisions such as calling for volunteers to suppress the rebellion, implementing martial law, and issuing the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863. These actions paved the way for the abolition of slavery and the eventual reunification of the nation. Despite facing immense challenges and criticisms from both sides, Lincoln remained steadfast in his commitment to preserving the Union and upholding the principles of liberty and equality. His legacy as a legendary leader and the great emancipator was solidified during this tumultuous time in American history. Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1, 1863. This historic document declared enslaved people in Confederate states to be free. It was a pivotal moment in the Civil War, as it shifted the focus to include the abolition of slavery as a central goal. While the Emancipation Proclamation did not immediately free all enslaved people, it paved the way for the eventual passage of the 13th Amendment, which formally abolished slavery in the United States. Lincoln's decision to issue the proclamation showcased his commitment to equality and justice, solidifying his legacy as a visionary leader in the fight for liberty. In November 1863, President Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address at the dedication of the Soldiers' National Cemetery in Pennsylvania. In his brief but powerful speech, Lincoln eloquently articulated the principles of equality and democracy that the United States was founded upon. The Gettysburg Address has since become one of the most iconic and influential speeches in American history, solidifying Lincoln's legacy as a leader who stood for liberty and unity during one of the nation's most tumultuous times. As the Civil War raged on, Abraham Lincoln faced the challenge of running for re-election in 1864. Despite mounting criticism and challenges from within his own party, Lincoln remained steadfast in his commitment to preserve the Union. His leadership during the war, including the Emancipation Proclamation and the Gettysburg Address, bolstered his chances for a second term. Facing off against Democrat George McClellan, Lincoln campaigned on a platform of ending the war and abolishing slavery. With the tide turning in favor of the Union forces, Lincoln emerged victorious in the election, securing a second term as president. His re-election was a testament to his leadership, dedication to the country, and vision for a more united nation. Legacy and assassination. Abraham Lincoln played a crucial role in bringing the Civil War to an end and in efforts to reunify the country. His leadership during this time was marked by his commitment to preserving the Union and abolishing slavery. Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation in 1863 declared all slaves in Confederate states to be free, further solidifying the Union's stance against slavery. As the war drew to a close in 1865, Lincoln focused on plans for reconstruction and reconciliation between the North and the South. He sought to heal the wounds of the nation and restore unity, emphasizing forgiveness and unity in his speeches and actions. Sadly, Lincoln's efforts to rebuild the nation were cut short when he was assassinated in April 1865. Despite his untimely death, Lincoln's legacy as a leader who guided the country through one of its darkest periods and worked towards a more perfect union endures to this day. After the Civil War ended in 1865, Abraham Lincoln turned his attention towards the monumental task of reconstructing a divided nation. His vision for rebuilding the country focused on healing the wounds of war and reuniting a fractured society. Lincoln believed in granting amnesty to former Confederate soldiers and pardoning those who had fought against the Union, emphasizing the importance of forgiveness and reconciliation. He also advocated for the passage of the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery once and for all. Lincoln's plans for Reconstruction aimed to create a more united and inclusive United States, where liberty and equality would prevail for all its citizens. Though his life was tragically cut short by an assassin's bullet, Lincoln's vision for Reconstruction laid the foundation for a more hopeful future for the nation. On April 14, 1865, President Abraham Lincoln's life was tragically cut short when actor and Confederate sympathizer John Wilkes Booth shot him at Ford's Theater in Washington, D. C. Lincoln, who had successfully led the country through the Civil War and issued the Emancipation Proclamation to end slavery, died the following day. The nation mourned the loss of its beloved leader, and Lincoln's legacy of courage, compassion, and commitment to equality has endured for generations. Booth's actions left a scar on the nation's history, but Lincoln's ideals of leadership, liberty, and equality continue to inspire people around the world. In the immediate aftermath of Abraham Lincoln's assassination, the nation was plunged into a period of deep mourning. The news of his death spread quickly, and people from all walks of life were devastated by the loss of their beloved leader. Memorials and funeral processions were held across the country, with millions of Americans coming together to pay their respects to the man who had guided them through the Civil War. Lincoln's funeral train traveled from Washington, D.C. to his final resting place in Springfield, Illinois, with thousands of people lining the tracks to bid farewell to their fallen president. The outpouring of grief and reverence for Lincoln was overwhelming, as the nation struggled to come to terms with the loss of a leader who had become a symbol of unity and hope during a tumultuous time. The period of national mourning following Lincoln's death served as a testament to his enduring legacy and the profound impact he had on the fabric of American society. Despite the tragedy of his untimely death, Lincoln's memory lived on in the hearts of the American people, who continued to honor his memory and legacy for generations to come. Abraham Lincoln's historical impact on America and the world is profound and enduring. As the 16th President of the United States, Lincoln played a pivotal role in preserving the Union during the Civil War and ultimately abolishing slavery with the Emancipation Proclamation. His leadership and steadfast commitment to equality and justice have left a lasting legacy that continues to resonate with people around the globe. Lincoln's assassination in 1865 shocked the nation, but his legend and impact on American society and politics live on to this day.